talk about Facebook Zero. It's a really hot topic right now. There's a lot of changes coming to Facebook in 2018, and there's just so much content and information out there. We just wanted to come up with our own guide to share with our own clients and people that might just be confused about all these changes and how it could affect their business and what they need to do about it. So we created this presentation. I'm calling it Facebook Zero, and let's just dive right in.
Sounds good.
Okay, my name is Aubrey Broyles, for those of you that don't know me. I work here at Nex-Tech in the Advertising Solutions Department. Today I have Becky here with me to ask questions and just make sure we're being clear and all of that. So,
and I have a lot of questions about this because, I mean, there are a lot of changes that might be a little confusing, so I'm really glad you're here to explain it to us.
Oh, no, glad you're here to ask me questions about it. So I think this should be pretty thorough and answer a lot of questions for people. So this is kind of the agenda of sorts of what we're going to talk about today. First is what you need to know, going over the announcement from Facebook, the facts that we have, and the predictions that we can make. And then the second part is going to be what you need to do, or an action plan. So let's just dive in. So like I said, first we're going to start with what you need to know, from algorithms to Zuckerberg. It's my lame joke for the day. So we're going to start with how did this start? We first learned about all these changes from Facebook on January 11th, 2018. People are referring to this as the Facebook apocalypse or Facebook Zero. So that's why if you hear these terms, this is kind of what they're referring to.
So did you hear about this through like social media, or was it Facebook themselves, or how did you hear about it?
Yeah, some people kind of directed me to it, all these changes that were happening. And I think the first thing I ever did was read this article that we're going to share with you so that you're kind of feeling it the same way we did. It was the article from Facebook that kind of talked about the changes they want to make and how it's going to affect people. Then after hearing that, then I went out and got some more information from some other experts that have done a lot of research. I mean, there's some stats in here that I've gathered from people that have been doing research on this exact topic for the last 2 years. And so, it's just kind of gathering information from all over, but it definitely came from Facebook first. And that's why what we're going to share with you today is straight from Facebook.
Great.
So the algorithms started changing in 2017. So you guys that manage pages might have started to see some of these changes last year, but these changes are going to be more drastic in the coming year, and that's why we're going to talk about them today. Okay. So we're going to dive right in and talk about the article and the video that Facebook shared. So this article, and I'm just going to basically put screenshots and share it with you. Everybody can go out and find this link online if you want to read through it more thoroughly. So this, like I said, this article came from the Facebook newsroom on January 11th, 2018. It's titled Newsfeed FYI, Bringing People Closer Together. It was written by Adam Mosseri, who is the head of the newsfeed, but there's also a little blurb in here from Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Facebook. So to me, this is straight from the horse's mouth. So I kind of highlighted some stuff that I thought was really important to share with people and just, know where we're getting this information from.
Sure, and then you'll kind of explain it a little bit more to us later, right?
Exactly. So the first sentence starts here: Facebook was built to bring people closer together and build relationships. One of the ways we do this is by connecting people to meaningful posts from their friends and family in Newsfeed. They go on to talk about how over the next few months they'll be making changes, and Mark Zuckerberg's post here kind of summarizes everything we're going to talk about today. Moving on, the next part is what is the update. So today, Facebook uses signals like how many people react to, comment on, or share posts to determine how high they appear in the newsfeed. With this new update, they will prioritize posts that spark conversations and meaningful interactions between people. Skipping down a little bit, we will also prioritize, we as in Facebook, posts from friends and family over public content consistent with our newsfeed values. And this is important to us as advertisers and business owners. We are the public content. Public content refers to stuff from pages, businesses, groups, stuff that's not, your friends or family.
So that could be kind of concerning for an advertiser like us. So
Exactly. And a lot of our clients. So the next part here is, what does this mean for pages and public content? Because space in Newsfeed is limited, showing more posts from friends and family And updates that spark conversations means it will show less public content, including videos and other posts from publishers or businesses. Just basically making that same point. As they make these updates, pages may see their reach, video watch time, and referral traffic decrease. The impact will vary from page to page, driven by factors including the type of content they produce and how people interact with it. Pages making posts that people generally don't react to or comment on could see the biggest decreases in distribution. Pages whose posts prompt conversations between friends will see less of an effect. And you'll hear, this is pretty much the theme of the whole presentation today. Okay. They want engagement. So moving on to the last slide here. The question is, what types of page posts will show higher in the newsfeed? So this goes on to talk about the ranking. Page posts that generate conversation between people will show higher in newsfeed. For example, live videos often lead to discussion among viewers on Facebook. In fact, live videos on average get 6 times as many interactions as regular videos. This is a very important statistic, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later on. Another point they make is using engagement bait to goad people into commenting on posts is not meaningful interaction, and we will continue to demote these posts on Facebook. Again, we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but just wanted to mention how it is coming straight from Facebook. And the last point they make here is the question is, does this mean you are eliminating page content from newsfeed? Basically, they're saying no. They're going to keep putting our content in the newsfeed. They say that page posts will still appear in the newsfeed, though there will be fewer of them. So that's more to my point. The last thing here is a video. And we'll share this with you guys so you can watch it. This is a video that Facebook produced, and this is something that they want viewers to watch. You know, the actual, you and I and our friends to watch. This is not something for marketers or advertisers. This is not, a how-to for businesses. This is just kind of explaining to people the changes that are going to come and how it will affect how they see things in their newsfeed. So I figured who better to explain it than Facebook themselves. So we'll just go ahead and watch it right now.
All right, sounds good.
People come to Facebook to connect with the people who matter to them. And over the next year, our team's mission is to help you have deeper, more meaningful interactions with people you care about. We use a process called ranking to determine which posts show up in your newsfeed and in what order, based on what we think you'll be most interested in. A like, comment, or share is one sign that a post matters to you, so posts you're likely to interact with generally get higher ranking scores. Now, we'll also consider whether a potential interaction is between 2 people or between a person and a page, which are the accounts run by businesses, organizations, and public figures. Person to person will be more valuable than person to page. Connections with people in your network will get the biggest boost because interacting with people you're close to is more meaningful. We're also going to prioritize exchanges that reflect more time and care.
Interacting with people, like having a conversation or reminiscing about things you've shared, is associated with a greater sense of well-being. And the benefits are even stronger when you're close to the person and when the interaction requires some effort. For example, typing out a long and thoughtful reply to a friend's post. On the other hand, just scrolling through your Facebook feed, passively reading or watching without interacting with others tends to make people feel worse.
Over time, we believe people will see more posts from people they're connected to and less content from publishers. We also expect overall time spent on Facebook to go down, but our goal is that the time people do spend on Facebook will be better. Facebook was built to connect you to the stories and people that matter most, so we're going to keep listening to you and working hard to make sure that's what you see every day.
So it sounds like there was quite a bit of content in that article and even that video. So I'm really interested to hear what you have to expand on that.
Yep, so we've kind of got the stuff from Facebook. Now we're going to talk about the facts that we can really pull from that and then the predictions we can make as far as how it will affect the newsfeed.
Okay.
So first up is fact number 1, which is video will get less watch time. I shared an example here that Nex-Tech shared last summer. And I want to make the point that I don't think you should stop using videos. I don't think you should stop producing videos. I think they're very important. The reason why they're going to get less watch time is because they're going to have less engagement. Watching a video on Facebook is a very passive action. You're just, you're absorbing that content. You're not necessarily liking or commenting or sharing it. You're just absorbing it. And so that's why Facebook, the algorithm is going to be really picky with this because they want engagement. I cannot say that enough. Engagement is the key here. So That's why videos are going to, you're going to see less of them in your feed. But like I'm saying, I don't want people to think they need to stop doing videos, because when you're making a post to your followers, you have to choose an asset. I mean, nobody wants to see it just a status, just the text. They want to see some sort of asset with it, something that's going to grab their eye visually. So usually that means an image or a video or something along those lines. And I mean, there's so many statistics out there that say how much better video performs over a still image. And so that's why I want to make the point that video is still important, but there will be less of it in the newsfeed.
Okay. I think you made some really good points there, because video in the past has always been a really great tool on Facebook. So I like that you point out that yes, it's still okay to do, just make sure you're using it in the right context.
Absolutely. And to that point, I included our example here to show you something that you, maybe as a small business owner, can do. This is something that we did last summer. We got a couple of free tickets to the Wild West Fest. And so this is a video I created, and I'm not kidding you, probably 1 minute. It's a trick here that I did, and I'll explain it to you to give you a little insider's tip. I pulled up a video on YouTube of an American flag waving, and then I held these 2 free tickets in front of my monitor, and I took my smartphone and I recorded it for 5 seconds, and then I made this post that went along with it. And we did get some interaction with this. While we are giving away tickets, and we were encouraging people to comment with it. I mean, that's where we get the engagement with it. So I do want to remind you that making video content is easy, and you can still get engagement with it. You just want to make sure that your content encourages people to make those comments and like and everything.
Thank you for that example, because it doesn't always have to be this big production. It can be something pretty simple.
Absolutely. Moving on to fact number 2. Fact number 2 is that links to external pages will get less visibility. This is one of those things that we started seeing in 2017, but will really hit us in 2018. And these are bad examples. So these examples that I've shared for you, don't do these. These are things that we did last year that as a growing and changing technology company, we're taking these bad examples and we're going to try and do better in 2018.
Because they used to be a good thing to do on Facebook, but now with these changes, not so much.
Exactly, yeah. So at the time they were fine, but these are the types of things that we need to stop doing. Just to kind of walk through them. The one on the left is, good ideas for Christmas gift wrapping. And then the link here is taking them to the Country Living website. And Facebook does not like that. They want people to stay in their app. They want people to engage with the content that's there and not leave and go somewhere else. The other 2 examples here are is one to a YouTube video about phone scams, and then the other one is to one of our local content that we produce with Extension Ed with K-State. This one was called Keys to Embracing Aging. And to kind of explain what we're going to do differently so that we improve on this. So we have this content. We've recorded this video about keys to embracing aging, and we still want to share this with our followers. We just need to do it differently. So in 2018, what we'll do is take this video that we recorded, format it for Facebook, which means square, maybe add subtitles, give it a catchy caption, probably a little bit shorter. People obviously aren't watching videos as long on Facebook as they are on YouTube. Yeah. So just a few little changes to make it, Facebook format. Okay. And then actually we're going to upload that video on Facebook so that people can watch that video on the app and not have to leave the app. So that'll fit more into the algorithm for Facebook.
That's a great idea.
Yep. All right. Moving on to fact number 3. All posts from people and pages will be impacted. So if you're thinking that, I'll just share my business's post from my personal page, or maybe you don't have a true business page, but you're running it from your personal, all posts will be affected. And even to your personal life, if you share a picture of your kids and nobody wants to engage with it or comment on it, it's going to rank really low. And so this is across the board, these algorithms are going to apply to everyone.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was kind of wondering, how does that affect my personal posts? Although all my posts are about my kids, so we'll see how they do.
About my dog, so whatever. So I just want to mention that. Moving on to fact number 4. Facebook will prioritize posts that spark conversations and meaningful interactions between people. What this means is between you and I, not necessarily between me and the business that I'm talking to. So between the actual followers.
So us as Nex-Tech wouldn't want necessarily that conversation to go back and forth between Nex-Tech and a customer. Right. We want 2 actual people's pages going back and forth.
Absolutely, that's going to be the biggest help here. The 3 comments that Facebook made that we really need to hit on is that Facebook will weigh long comments more than short comments. Comments will weigh more than likes. And meaty dialogue between people, not pages, will be critical for newsfeed exposure. So just hitting on all those points. You really, really want people to talk back and forth to each other, to reply to their posts, and to have long, lengthy, meaty comments.
Okay.
Alrighty, so that's the first part of my presentation. The second half is probably what you're really wanting most. This is what you need to do. Don't freak out, we're here to help. You know, we're all in this boat together. We're trying to promote our business just the same way, and so we're trying to learn and adapt and figure out, you know, these new waters just the same way.
Yes,
so,
this is the part I'm excited for. Like, give us that solution.
Yeah, I told you all the bad news, and so now we're gonna dig into the part that hopefully will help you. Step 1, lower your frequency of posts. And my meme here says, what if less is more? Crazy thought. I'll kind of explain how in the past, you know, we would come up with these calendars. I would print off the month and I would go through and make sure we were posting maybe 4 times a week, whatever. And we do this for our business, our clients too. We would make sure that we were posting at least 3 times a week. It didn't matter if the content was good or not. We were just making sure that we were regularly posting. And in 2018, it's going to be very apparent that we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, because
sure.
back then, frequency was a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't have anything good to say, you don't have anything engaging to say, don't say it. Just stay off. I will, to this point, say that, you know, it is still important to post things. You know, you want to make sure that your page doesn't look dead and you haven't shared things in months. Like, you don't want that, but just make sure that you're not posting just because you need to post.
Right. Okay.
So. Step 2, create content that will get people to talk to each other. Again, this thing we were talking about before. This is really hard to do. We've been talking about it since these changes came up. Like, what can we say that makes people want to talk to each other? This is difficult. I'm telling you, it is hard. But you know, we're just gonna have to try better in 18. And so I found the best example I could from our page from 2017, and I will admit, this is not even a great example. Like, I had to dig to find this one, and it's really not even like the best thing ever, but this is a post about thanking all of our employees for their dedicated service and recognizing all of those that had service awards in 2017, and we had quite a few comments like congratulating certain people, you know, going back and forth and talking and all of that. So, you know, if these people were replying to each other and there was more lengthy, meaty comments, like, that'd be awesome. And I wish I had more of those posts to share with you, but we'll try and be better in 2018.
I do think that actually was a good example. It's like I told you earlier, I had read that recognizing your employees' anniversaries or work anniversaries, like you said, retirement, anything like that, people really engage with that type of content.
Absolutely. I was really surprised. We made a list of our top 25 posts in 2017 just to kind of see what did well and what didn't. And we had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 of the top 25 were like service year type stuff like this, or congratulating people on their retirements, things like that. So I was shocked to see those on there, but that just goes to show that people really care about the people that work at your business and the people behind it, not just necessarily the brand.
Yeah, it really adds that human element to your Facebook page.
So get people to talk to each other. Step number 3, do more Facebook Live videos. And again, I wish I had more examples to share with you, but we have only done one Facebook Live, and it was just pretty recent, actually. So again, bad Nex-Tech. We'll try and be better in 2018.
But I mean, it's like you brought up earlier, you know, the old style of just doing the videos beforehand and putting it on Facebook isn't the best way to go. So you think a live is probably much better.
Absolutely. And like we read in the Facebook article to start with, they say that Facebook Live videos get 6 times more comments, interactions on them than just a normal post. And so that just goes to show that people are really watching that live content and they really care about it. So if you haven't done a Facebook Live, I really encourage you to try it. It's really not that scary. And people don't expect it to be polished or perfect or any of that. I mean, it's raw. It's live. People expect that when they jump in to see a live video.
They want you to look normal, so
right. and fumble in your words when you're talking, and all of that. Let me go back here. Sorry. So I'm going to talk about the example that we did do. Okay. This is what we did with Casey Wolf live from Nex-Tech. So we had the mascot from Kansas City Chiefs here last week, and we streamed this, I think, about 40 minutes. We streamed him coming in and interacting with the kids, and I also had a little interactive part where I would ask the people in line, like mostly kids, what's your name, and ask them simple questions like, can you tell me the colors of the Kansas City Chiefs? And red and yellow, they're super excited. So I tried to keep the video part of it a little more interesting to people. Something I learned when researching Facebook Live is that Facebook wants these videos to be between, I believe it's 20 and 90 minutes.
It's actually pretty lengthy.
It is really lengthy. I was thinking, we'll jump on, do it for 5 minutes, just tell people he's here, but Facebook really wants these to be 20 minutes long, and so I'll share that with you. If you can make it go longer and stretch it out, definitely go for it. Facebook will reward you for that. But if you can only do 5 or 10 minutes,
it's probably better than nothing.
Absolutely.
But probably an event or something like that would be ideal for a Facebook Live.
And the ideal Facebook Live is where you can get people that are watching to interact with you. So if I'm recording myself in my Facebook Live and I can ask people, how do you feel about this statement that I just made, and get them to comment back to you while you're talking, that is the biggest key.
And then you can answer them right away live.
That's the idea. We'll move on here to step number 4, avoid engagement bait. We read this again in the article, and I told you I had to talk about it. So we're a little bit guilty of this ourselves.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are, and we just need to be more cognizant of it in 2018. So you might be asking, what is engagement bait? So we'll go through the 3 examples here that Facebook provided. The first one is vote baiting. The article here reads, vote on your 2018 goals, be fitter, find love, get a promotion, move cities. So that is getting people to vote. And the reason Facebook doesn't like this is it kind of feels a little bit spammy. And they think you and I talked earlier, I don't necessarily think that, I don't hate seeing these types of posts, but Facebook doesn't like them. And the reason I think they don't like it is because it breaks the algorithm.
Okay.
It's saying that this post is being engaged with a lot. People are liking it a lot, but people aren't necessarily looking at it for a long time or talking back and forth with people. And so that's why Facebook doesn't start punishing people for doing this.
And that is a tricky one to evaluate now, because it used to be something that would get a lot of interaction, but now they might possibly dock you for that.
Yep, and there's a lot of gray area there. The second one here is react baiting. The comment says, like this if you're an Aries, or love this if you're a Leo. So that's just, it's kind of like vote baiting, but it's react baiting. The last one is share baiting. This kind of made me giggle. Share with 10 friends for a chance to win a new convertible. Woohoo.
Spammy.
This is very spammy. To me, this is the most spammy of all 3 of those. Like, when I see these types of things in my feed, I'm like, oh, no, who falls for that?
It's not real.
Exactly. So don't do these types of things. And Facebook's algorithm will catch you and demote these posts, and they don't like it. I do want to read the little bit of caption here. I did pull this from Facebook. They want people to know that posts posts that ask people for help, advice, or recommendations, such as circulating a missing child report, raising money for a cause, or asking for travel tips, will not be adversely impacted by this update. So they want you to know that just because somebody's sharing your missing child report, whatever, that they're not necessarily going to dock you for that. And that's why I think there's a lot of gray area, because there are posts that get shared a lot or interacted with a lot, but they're not necessarily bait. And so I'm not sure how the algorithm works with Facebook, but they're figuring it out.
It's definitely something we need to be careful with.
Exactly. So step 5 is do more Facebook ads. And I think this is the step that Nex-Tech will definitely do most of. Of all of these, this is the most important one that I'm taking away. This is also one that I will suggest more to our clients that are saying, what do I, freaking out, like, what do I do? This is the step that I'm going to push the most, because to have exposure for your brand in the newsfeed, you're going to have to pay to put your content there. So I wanted to share some examples that Nex-Tech has done as sponsored Facebook ads. So this first one here is one for the Nex-Tech Classifieds. These are product placement ads. So if you're a business that sells a product or service, definitely look into these types of ads. They do so well. So we actually have a feed that talks from the Nex-Tech Classifieds and takes real life listings that people have listed and makes ads out of them. So we've been running this for probably about 6 months now. We spent about $461 on it, just to give you an idea that this doesn't take a whole lot of money. We have had 135,000 impressions.
Wow.
So that's views. That's how many times these ads have been viewed by people. And this is just the men's version. Let me keep in mind, we have a whole different campaign for women. So that's why you're seeing like a truck and a tractor. This is just the men. So the reach was 15,000 men, and the links have been clicked on over 19,000 times, which is ridiculous. So people that are seeing this ad are clicking on it multiple times, and the cost per result is 0.002 cents. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
So,
and how long did that one run?
Well, it's actually still running, but
Okay.
I think we've been running it for about 6 months now.
Wow. Okay. So really, I mean, under $500 for 6 months is not bad at all.
Not at all. And you can adjust this. If you say your ad spend, for your business is a lot lower, you can definitely lower this. You're just not going to have as many views, which is totally fine. You're just going to get what you pay for, and but you'll still reach a lot of people this way.
Okay.
So, and I just wanted to give another example for step number 5. This is an ad we ran for Fort Hays students. Telling them about our internet discount that applies to them. This was a video. I won't play it for you. You've probably seen it before, but it was some really, really cool drone shots that we got of campus, and it's really, I thought it was really neat. We had over 41,000 impressions. We reached about 4,800 people, which is to me perfect because there's about 5,000-ish students on the Fort Hays campus, and so to me the reach is right. It's right where we want it to be. We're not paying for people that wouldn't necessarily apply to.
Sure.
Anyway, the result with this one was over 13,000 3-second video views. And so we ran this for the whole year, I believe, at least probably 10 months. And so we spent about $706 for the whole year. Not at all. So we got a lot of good awareness from this one. And we were just talking about this particular campaign. We had, 440% ROI on this campaign. So, just a little, and this is one of the only ways we actually advertise this campaign.
I was going to say, our overall expenses of the campaign are really low. Facebook is actually the large portion of that. So it's performed really well.
So do more Facebook ads. And if you don't know how to do this, we're here to help. Launching a campaign can be a little bit tricky if you've never done it before, but just reach out to a professional like Nex-Tech, or if you have another agency you work with, we're happy to help you do this. Another point we talked about earlier was boosted posts. If say you're a really small business and you don't know how to do a campaign and you don't want to reach out, if you've shared any of your posts and they've done well, you probably get the little notification from Facebook saying, this has reached a lot of people. Throw $50 at it to boost the post and reach more people. And if you have a post that's doing really well like that, I would suggest it. It's super easy to do that, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. And you can get your post that has proven to be, won people over. You can get that seen by more people, even beyond people that follow your page.
I appreciate that advice. I wanted to ask you one other thing, because I don't know if we covered it yet. A lot of people might think, is this a change that happens overnight? Like, how does this work exactly?
It's a good question. So like I mentioned in the beginning, we started seeing a lot of these algorithm changes in 2017. We started to see, technology. We started to see these changes in 2017 with the algorithms and everything, and started seeing our reaches decrease. And we didn't, really know why. We hadn't really seen anything from Facebook as a formal announcement, and we just, tried to do better. But we then eventually got the announcement from Facebook that really explained everything and what they're wanting and how they're changing the newsfeed. So yes, this is not an overnight change at all. This is something that they'll roll out slowly. In fact, I don't think it's even completely done being rolled out. I saw some reports saying maybe February or March is when they're expecting this to really all the way be rolled out. So it's not here yet. I don't think it's completely done, but I think we are seeing some of the effects of it already.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, step number 6. This is learn Messenger chatbots.
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 I haven't heard that term a whole lot yet, so I'm hoping you'll explain that a little more.
It's really new. So this is something that we're not actually doing, and I'm not sure that we will yet. I think maybe later 2018, maybe even 2019 is when we'll start doing this. This is something that I think really benefits really big businesses to start out with. Just to put this in perspective, we as Nex-Tech maybe only receive, maybe 5 inbox messages a week, maybe.
Sure.
In my opinion, I can pretty easily kind of handle that. I can stay on top of that size of an inbox and respond to our people and get them taken care of. But if you were Sephora, for example, and you had a lot of messages coming into your inbox, this might be something to consider. And another example is my dog groomer that I go to. She manages her business pretty much all from Facebook. And I think she gets a lot of messages. I'm sure she gets probably 12 a day.
Oh, yeah.
And so you don't necessarily have to be a big business, but somebody that would have a lot more inbox volume.
Okay.
So to explain chatbots a little bit, it's basically a robot that responds automatically to people that message your page in Messenger. They use artificial intelligence to do this. In my opinion, it's very similar to when you pick up a phone and you get an automated phone system, like, press 1 to talk to somebody to pay your bill, or press 2 to whatever. It's very similar to that, but this is just the chat version. And again, there's not an actual person that's manning this.
Okay.
It's just all artificial.
So I'm assuming it's maybe some things you might have to set up beforehand before you can start using it.
Exactly. There's a lot of setup involved with this, a lot of development that's involved. So if you're not very tech savvy, this might not be something for you. I might get the experts involved. But there are also applications you can pay for and have added to this. So you can reach out and find other ways to help you that you can implement into your messenger system and really get this taken care of. So I'll talk about the example that we have here from Sephora. They have salons, and they talk about how it's easy for people to just send a message to their messenger system, and they instantly receive the closest dates and times, so people can book appointments completely in Messenger, and they receive a confirmation email as well. So you can see an example here. Somebody said select, and then Sephora comes back with examples or options for an appointment time.
Okay.
And then somebody can reply and say yes, I want that appointment time or whatever. So it's all automatic.
It is pretty cool, but I mean, it's like you said earlier, I can see why it would work better at this point for a larger business and maybe not so much for those mom and pop shops.
Exactly.
It just depends on the business.
Definitely. And that's kind of why I say this isn't something we're going to do probably very soon, but I wanted to throw it out there for somebody. This might be a really good solution for somebody, but probably not us. But that is step number 6. And that's all I have. So I want to thank you all for watching today. Becky, do you have any questions for me before we wrap this up?
I really think you pretty well covered everything, but can you tell us if anybody needs help, like who should they call?
Exactly. So I'm kind of the coordinator here for the social media, campaigns and organic posts. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me directly at abroyles@nextech.com. I'm happy to answer questions and help you with any of your campaigns or answer how you can reach more people with your organic posts.
Sure.
So happy to help. If you are not already a client of ours and you think you might want to be, we are an advertising agency for those that don't know, and we take all kinds of clients from all types of businesses. If you're interested in that, you can call the number here to talk to a sales representative, and they can offer you a package.
Well, thank you so much for explaining all of that to us today.
Thank you for joining me today, Beth. It was lovely having you, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.